Hello Ravencoin lovers, Raven Rebels here with a tutorial video about how to get started using RPC calls in Ravencoin. If you start using RPC calls, you can do anything that Ravencoin can do. Just write some tiny code. So let's get started, and we want to, in this video, write as few lines of code as possible to make it as understandable as possible. So looky, nicely Ravencoin images here. Okay, so we are going to use Node.js and JavaScript, and we are going to use an npm package, Node Package Manager, called @RavenRebels Ravencoin key. And we will use no, not key, haha, wrong. RavenRebels Ravencoin RPC. We should use RPC. This is the one we're going to use. So we are going to use RPC. Ravencoin @RavenRebels Ravencoin RPC. So what we do is we have a command line. Here we are using Windows. Works the same way on Linux and Mac. I have already installed Visual Studio Code from Microsoft. So therefore, I'm in the temp directory here, so I can say make directory RPC. Already exists. Okay. Let's remove it. Let's do it again. Make dir RPC. Now we have a RPC folder, and it's totally empty. So now we type in npm init-y. I also realize when I say this, I take it for granted. You need to have Node.js installed. Node.js. So you go to, you download it here. So just take 18 here, most users. Isn't it long-term support, LTS? Take that one, safe and sound. Anyway, when you have done that, then you get npm installed, so you can type in npm init-y. Now we have an empty project. So we can type code and dot for the current directory. It will start Visual Studio Code in the current directory. Here we are. The whole project is just one file, a JSON file with nothing in it. And here we can open the terminal inside Visual Studio Code, so it's integrated, easier to work with. So we are going to copy the link here, install, how to install @RavenRebels Ravencoin RPC. So let's install that. We paste in the command. npm will do all the magic and install all the code we need. Nice. So now we got a new line of dependencies here in package.json. So next step now is to create a JavaScript file to start doing some stuff. And what stuff are we going to do? Well, let's start by copy the example here from Ravencoin RPC. Ta-da! And in this case, I'm running a testnet node. We have some very simple user.password and 8888 as RPC port. It's not the default port. So let's paste it in. So we know that username, password, and the port was different. So now it should be okay. So here we start using the package we just installed. And we get an RPC object. So we just send in username, password, and URL, so it knows how to communicate with Ravencoin. And this code will ask for the asset Elvis. I guess we will get null because there is no Elvis asset on testnet. But let's run the code. Node index null, but okay, no Elvis. So you should really create the Elvis token. Someone needs to create an Elvis token. We need to have an Elvis token. Do that on testnet. Anyway, we have a Barry token here, so let's change this to Barry. Run it again. Data. Now we have the metadata for the token Barry. And we could, of course, like open a web browser to view this if we want to. So we could say like, when this is done, we could console.log. The URL would then be, what is it? HTTPS, perhaps Ravencoin IPFS gateway.com. Is it correct? Plus response.ipfs hash. Let's see if this works. Let's run it again. Response. Let's see if we can. Do you want to open? Yes. Isn't it Ravencoin IPFS gateway? What's there? No? www. Aha. www. Let's run it again. And we can copy click that one. Nice. And we also know where there is a ugly token as well. So now we get URL to ugly. Ah, so ugly, so nice. So now you say that you can communicate with this one. Now, can you do other stuff? Of course you can do other stuff. There's a utility method object called methods that can help you. So you can do like methods dot, and then it will show you all the cool procedures you can call here. So let's do something else. Let's, I don't know, let's ask for mempool, for example. Let's do that. And we can also be fancy-pantsy. So now we use something called promises, a lot of code. You can do fancy-pantsy and say async function work. Now we have an asynchronous function. A bit easier, because then you can say const ugly equals await RPC methods getAssetData, and we send in as argument ugly. Then we can do MEMPOOL and send in await RPC methods getRawmempool, and that takes in our case we send in an empty array, and we say ugly is ugly and console.log mempool, not poop, pool, mempool. And we remove this, and we have to call the method. So now we run it again, and we see that the mempool is empty, and we have stuff. So this is kind of boring. Why do we don't want to have a empty mempool? So what do? Well, we can go to testnet thing, the tool on testnet that no one is using, but you should use it. You can click on some of the predefined open public profiles here, and you see you have partyAnimal. Let's get his partyAnimal receive address. There we have. So let's start by each time we run this, we send 10 test raven to this guy. So partyAnimalAddy is the address of partyAnimal, right? Okay. Let's see if we can send some stuff to him. So we start by await RPC methods send to address, and then we get all the information here. Okay, if you want to send to someone, you have lots of arguments. You can have the address you want to send to and the amount. Okay, let's do that. Const arguments equals a array, and the first argument is partyAnimalAddy, his address. And the second argument we saw was the amount. So let's send 10. like that. So when we send in the arguments, so now we are calling, let's call it A. We get A back. A, I guess it's the transaction ID. Let's run this and see what happens. Ta-da-da-da-da-da. Looky here. First we got the ID here because we sent money to partyAnimal. And then down here we see that now in the mempool there's a transaction called this one. We can also do const transaction equals, let's say that we always ask for the first transaction in mempool. We don't do any loops. RPC, await RPC, methods getRawTransaction. Same thing here. We see that the first argument should be the transaction ID, the second argument, whether it's verbose or not. And we want it verbose. So it should be true or false. So the first argument is mempool 0, which means the first item in the mempool array. And the second argument is true, but this needs to be, all of this is in one array because there's an array with arguments. So now we should also get some info about the actual transaction. It's called transaction and not transactions. Run it again. Wow, lots of code. Let's do it from the beginning. First we get the method of ugly. Now we see we have two transactions in the mempool. And we asked for the first address, the first transaction. And that transaction wanted to send to the address. This is not our transaction. Someone else is doing something. Because we are sending to partyAnimal, right? Sorry, so the output is, here we go, output, and we only see object here. Boring. How do we do that? Well, we turn it to JSON. Const JSON equals JSON.stringify transaction, and if you send in null 4, you will get it indented. So now the transaction will be super indented and nice. Let's first clear the console and we run it again. Here we go. Ugly, mempool, and then we see that the transaction has two outputs. That's like where our stuff going. We see it's sending 10 to this address, and that's us. That's the partyAnimal thing. And then it sends 1169 Raven back to this address, and that is one of our change addresses because now we are sending it from this one. So if you see that there is 106,700,000 tokens right now, Ravencoins in this test wallet, let's update the script here. So we can send like 1, 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000. So if we run this code now and we go to wallet super fast, you will see it goes down. Looky, 106,700,000. Looky, 106,600,000. So it's warning us that there is some stuff going on here in the wallet. And if we run it once again, it will go down even more. It should be 106,500,000 something, 500. And if we go to partyAnimal, we can see that partyAnimal is receiving 100,000. Oh, here comes another one. He's gonna get rich. partyAnimal only had 571 Raven test coin. Now he has 200,000 test Ravencoin. So here you see that you can do lots of stuff. In this case, when you say like this, send to address, it just takes your node and treats it as a wallet. And that's kind of fun. Can be nice, but when you do more advanced stuff, then what you really should do is that if you have multiple users, for example, or accounts, you should handle them as different mnemonic keys. You should derive the addresses, and you should yourself ask the wallet for unspent transaction and create raw transactions. But that's a very, very advanced stuff. Here we do the simple stuff. So now you learned how to send stuff from a wallet, how to get asset metadata, how to get the mempool, and how to get a transaction from the mempool. So by doing this, you can do a lot of stuff. Hope you liked the video. If you did like the video, please give it a like, share it, and comment. Super fun with comments. And stay safe out there. And any questions, just ask Raven Rebels on Twitter or on the Ravencoin Discord channel. Peace.